Hi, friends. We have been talking about different types of social sciences these past couple of weeks. And now we're going to be talking more about geography and how geographers help us learn about regions and other places. Because the big focus this year is all the regions of the United States. So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about geography. But just to get us started and warmed up and thinking about geography, I want to think about where you live in the world. And I have a book that's going to help us with this. And I shouldn't have said where you live in the world because we're actually thinking bigger than that. We're thinking, where do you live in the whole universe? So we're going to be reading the book, Where Do I Live? We're going to start really small and then we're going to build out and get bigger. Now, I do think they forgot one location in this book. So I want you to think about what might they have added. Where do I live? Where do you live? You live in your room. There may be lots of rooms where you live, but one room is special. It has your bed in it and your clothes and your toys. It's where you wake up each morning and go to sleep each night and have sweet dreams. When your mom says play in your room, you know which room she means. That's what makes it special. That's what makes it yours. You live in your home. Your home is the place where your room is. It's the place where you live. Of course, you don't live at home all by yourself. Other people live there with you. They are your family. That's where your home is, the place where you and your family live. You live on a special piece of land. Do you know what land is? It's the stuff you walk on, it's the ground. For some people, the special piece of land is a yard. If you live in a house, your yard is the land around your house. It's your own private place to play when you're outside. Your yard is land that belongs to you and your family and nobody else. If you live in an apartment in the city, you may not have a yard. The city has lots of buildings, so there isn't room for too many yards. But the city has a special piece of land called the park. The park is a nice green place to play when you're outside. A park is like a yard for people who live in the city. A park doesn't belong to only one family. It belongs to everyone. Are you picturing your room, house, and land? You live on your street. Your street is black or gray and it has cars. It runs right past the home where you live. Your street runs past many other homes as well. All the homes are next to each other. The street belongs to everyone who lives next to it. Everyone who lives next to a street can say, "This is my street." What do you think's next? You live in your neighborhood. Your street isn't the only street there is. There are many streets where you live. All the streets are lined with homes just like yours. All the streets and all the homes that are near your home form your neighborhood. That's what a neighborhood is, a group of streets and homes where people live. You live in your town. Your neighborhood isn't the only one there is. There are lots of neighborhoods where you live. All the neighborhoods that are near each other form a town. That's what a town is, a group of neighborhoods in the same place. Do you know the name of your town? I hope so. Your town has the market where you buy food, it has the bank where you get money, it has the school where you go to learn, it has the post office and the library, and many other things besides. All the people in all the neighborhoods share what the town has, just as you share your toys with your friends. You live in the city, the suburbs, or the country. Where is your town? There are only three places it may be. One place is in the city. The city is a town, a great big town, or a group of towns that got so big they grew together and became one. Another place your town may be is in a suburb. A suburb is land that's around the city. The city has more people. A suburb has more room. Or your town may be in the country. A suburb is land that's near the city. The country is land that's farther away. The country has the fewest people and the most room of all. Enough room for farms and forests that take up lots of space. We had a debate when I read this book to the class about whether Indianola was a suburb or more countryside. And we ultimately decided it was more countryside because there's a lot of country between Des Moines and Indianola. So we decided it wasn't a suburb of Des Moines, it was more in the countryside. But you might disagree, which is okay. You live in your state. Do you know the name of your state? That's right, Iowa. Your town isn't the only one there is. There are lots of towns where you live. All the towns that are near each other and all the land around them form a state. A state is a really big piece of land. Dotting the land are dozens, even hundreds of towns just like yours. Every town is made up of neighborhoods, and every neighborhood has streets and homes where you and all the other people in your state live. You live in your country. Do you know the name of our country? Do you know how many states there are? 50. That's a lot of states. Together they form your country. That's what your country is, a group of 50 states. All the states treat each other like very good friends. They do things together just as you and your friends do. Together they build highways, share water, keep the land from getting dirty and spoiled, and many other important things. That that makes them something very special. It makes them united. They're united because they do things together as one. Being united is what makes the 50 states one big country. Guess what the name of your country is? It's called the United States. Now, there are many other countries, and they are split into little areas like states too, but they don't always call them states, right? Sometimes they call them provinces or some other different name. Like in France, they're called provinces, not states. But most countries split up their land into smaller parts. Now, in between town and state, I think they forgot county. I think it's important to realize that most states are split into counties. Like Iowa has 99 counties. Our county is Warren County. You live on your continent. A continent is a huge, huge piece of land. It's much bigger than a state. It's usually much bigger than a country. A continent is so big, you'd have to ride a rocket ship way up into outer space to see one in person. The continent you live on is called North America. North America is so big, it has 3 very large countries on it. You can see what they look like in the picture on these 2 pages. This picture and many others in this book have a special name. They are called maps. A map is a picture of land or water or even the sky that shows you where everything is. The map you see here is a picture of your continent. It shows you where all the countries in North America are and what they look like. At the top of the map is the coldest country. It's called Canada. It's up north. At the bottom of the map is the warmest country. It's called Mexico. It's down south. Your country, the United States, is in the middle. So lots of times I'll see people put Mexico as a state. Lots of 4th graders think Mexico is a state or part of the United States. It is not. It's its own country. And here they're just showing 3 countries in North America, but there's actually quite a few little countries down here that are also a part of North America, little island countries. You live in the world. North America isn't the only continent there is. There are 7 continents in all. They're all huge, huge pieces of land. Most of the continents are like North America. They're divided up into countries where people live. One continent isn't like the others. It doesn't have any countries. It's much too cold for people to live there. Instead of being covered with countries, it's covered with ice and snow. So it's down here, Antarctica. Do you see all the blue around each of the continents? If you think it's water, you're right. The water around the continents has 2 special names. The bigger bodies of water are called oceans. The smaller bodies of water are called seas. Just as there are many continents, there are many oceans and seas. You live on Earth. The many continents are huge, huge pieces of land. The many oceans and seas are even bigger bodies of water. That's what your world is made of, land and water. The world has a very beautiful name. It's called Earth, planet Earth. You live on your planet. Now, I don't know why they split planet Earth up into different names, but that's okay. I wouldn't have done that, but I'm not the author. You live on your planet. Earth isn't the only world there is. There are many different worlds. Earth is a special kind of world called a planet. A planet is a big fat ball in outer space. This big fat ball does only one thing. It spins around and around in a great big circle. It spins in a great big circle around a special star. The name of Earth's special star is the sun. You live in the solar system. Earth isn't the only planet there is. There are 9 planets now. 9 big fat balls in outer space. They all spin around the sun in great big circles. Together they form the solar system. Solar is just another word for sun. A system is a way of doing things. One way to do things is to spin around and around in great big circles. It isn't a very good system for people. You'd get dizzy, but for a planet it's perfect. That's what the solar system is. Earth and the other planets spinning around and around. You live in a galaxy. A galaxy is a gigantic group of stars, millions and millions of them, way too many to count. You're going to love the name of the galaxy you live in. It's called the Milky Way. The Milky Way not only has millions and millions of stars, it also has Earth's special star, the Sun, and the 9 planets of the solar system. The Milky Way is so gigantic, it seems to go on forever, but it doesn't. Big as your galaxy is, it still isn't the biggest place where you live. You live in the universe. The Milky Way isn't the only galaxy there is. There are billions of galaxies. They all have way too many stars to count. Each galaxy is so gigantic it seems to go on forever, but it doesn't, at least not all by itself. Together, the billions and billions of galaxies make up the universe. The universe is the biggest place there is. If you can't imagine how big the universe is, don't worry. Nobody can. That's how big the universe is, much too big for anyone to imagine. It's the one place that really does go on forever. And you live there, too. You live in lots of different places, all at the same time. And they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You began in your cozy little bedroom and you ended up at home in the biggest place of all, the universe. The universe is so very, very big that it holds every other place where you live. Can you remember all the other places you call home? You should try and pause the video and see if you can remember from the very beginning, starting with your bedroom and how we moved out and got bigger and bigger. Give it a shot. The galaxy is full of stars, including your galaxy, the Milky Way, and the solar system with the 9 planets spinning around and around the sun, including your planet Earth. And the world of Earth with its 7 continents and its many oceans and seas, including your continent, North America. And all the countries on all the continents, including your country, United States. And all the states that are in your country, there are 50. Ask someone which state is yours. Can you find it? Oh, yes, it's got some corn growing. There we are. All the cities and towns and the suburbs and the country, too. All the neighborhoods, uptown, downtown, north, south, east, and west. And every home on every street there is. Including yours. And that's where you live. Okay, so in your paper packet pickup for the week, there is a book about where you live. You're going to be decorating the book and answering the questions to make the book complete, like your address and your state and your country and your continent. If you forget, you can always go back and listen to this story again. Thanks, guys.